Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the assembling machine or assembler from Immersive Engineering. So we're going to throw down two redstone engineering blocks like so, a light engineering block in the middle, put steel scaffolding on the sides, and that's going to be your first layer for this one. Next we're going to do iron sheet metal like so, then another light engineering block across there, put two sheet metals on top of it and then the sides. Then we're going to use sheet metal slabs like this. And then finally, we'll add our conveyor belts. Whatever direction you have these conveyor belts, they have to match up, and whatever one is running into the machine will be your input. So if we have them both facing the same way, we're going to click our hammer on this conveyor belt, and that's going to assemble your machine. Let's make it day here. So any items that enter here are going to go into its internal inventory, and we'll get into that in a second over here. This is input because it's blue, and also the conveyor belt's running into the machine, but here is the liquid input too. So you can have crafting recipes that involve liquids. You have your redstone control here, and on the other side also, you power it from the top from this little orange slot, and then orange, which is export for most things in immersive engineering, so we have that. Now, if we come over to one of these and it's actually connected into a chain, you can see we've got our liquids coming in here, conveyor coming off of our sawmill, and what we're going to do is check this out inside. It has three different crafting recipe grids, and then the three outputs. It also has three tanks for different liquids. We're using just creosote here, so you got that, and it needs power, so it has its power bar here. So what we're going to do is show you one of the crafting recipes we can automate here, which is stripped logs into oak. And as you can see over here, it's actually kind of pumping them out because there is no secondary recipe for that. But if we put our creosote bucket in the middle here, surround it with planks, it's going to start generating our treated planks out the other side, which is very cool because you only need one bucket. It actually automatically refills the bucket using the tanks right into the recipe, so you don't need to sit here and stack a bunch of buckets in here to keep inventory and have them empty buckets coming out of the other side, which is super useful. And you can see it's using the planks for this recipe, so you can technically, well, more than technically, you can have three recurring recipes. So if this needs this and this needs that, you can all make it in a single machine, or you can just stack these up and continuously import items from one side. And that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going to be showing you how to put smelting or auto smelting on any one of your tools. So grab your tool, place 2 blocks of coal in the anvil, 1 seared brick, 1 blast furnace, and 1 piece of raw cobalt. Not the ingot, it has to be the raw one. And that's going to give you auto smelt, and what auto smelt does is basically exactly what it says. Any brick or block that can be smelted will do so automatically when you mine it, instead of having to throw it inside of a furnace or anything like that. And if that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going to be going over the automated workbench, which is the replacement for the engineer's workbench, and you can automate a lot of the recipes, or almost actually all of the recipes. So we put down 2 light engineering blocks, a redstone engineering block here, heavy engineering block in the corner up there, then fill in the centers with steel scaffolding. From here, you're going to bring the light engineering blocks up and also the heavy engineering block up. Treated slabs over top of the redstone engineering block and the scaffolding. From here, we're going to put down conveyor belts in a very specific way. So this one has to be running towards that heavy engineering block. This one's going towards the center. Then this one's going towards the outer block, and the same thing for this one. Now to turn it into a multi-block, we're going to hit our hammer on the center slab there, and that's going to make our machine. So you can control this with redstone, turn it on and off right here. Our inputs through conveyors or hoppers are on either side of this. We need to grab a power source right there. Power it right above the inputs on this orange block like that. You gotta shift click it. So what this one does is allows you to create any sort of recipe from the normal workbench, but do it automated as long as it has the materials to do so. So we're going to put that in there, and we're going to select one of our metal castings, which is the one that makes plates, and then we can either import our items. We're just going to throw them up in there, and to make these plates we need steel plates and wire cutters. Now this one should automatically start producing these if it has the proper items. So you can see it kind of working right now. Very cool animations to this. Now you can either place a chest right here and it'll automatically put those into the chest, or you can run a conveyor or anything like that to pull the items out and store it. And that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going to be showing you how to automate your smeltery from Tinker's Construct. So once you have this thing built, you're just going to place down a hopper running directly into your smeltery controller, toss a chest above that, or a double chest, whatever you fancy, and throw in whatever ores you want into this chest, and it's automatically going to draw them in to the smeltery's inventory. And once we've done that, we want to automate the faucets pouring down into the basins. So that can be done pretty simple, just like this, with any sort of redstone device. Buttons obviously only work once, levers are constantly on. After that, we place down a chest, and you're going to need 3 hoppers to run underneath the basins. So once the iron solidifies, it's automatically going to pull it out into the chest for you, which is really cool. I do warn you that with this one, you do need 9 ingots, so if you only have like 4 iron and 4 gold, it's not going to fill up into a block, and that means this basin is basically going to be useless until you do fill it completely up. So be careful with that one. Next, we come over to the other side. I did the same thing for the casting tables. So just run your chest right here and then hoppers going into it. Now, if you're like me, you like to be a little bit of a control freak with your stuff, so another way to control these faucets is using redstone torches, and I'd like to have a master control room in all of my bases so I can control everything from one spot, whether it be smelteries, food farms, and things like that. And you can control, you know, if this one's on or that one's off. If you only want one ingot being created at a time, you can do that with just a little bit of simple redstone. And that's pretty much it for automating this one. You can do lava if you have other mods in your mod pack that can handle lava, but I'm sticking with anything that's only inside this mod itself. So you are going to have to fill it up with a bucket on your own, but it's not too bad. And that's pretty much it for this one. If you found this helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over all of our fluid black holes. So our fluid black hole tanks, I guess. So if we look in here, we can show the display. This block is actually a filter, so if we put in a normal bucket here, we can't actually click any lava in here. It doesn't let us. Next, we have our tank, which the first tier holds 16 buckets of lava. And as you can see, if we fill this up and then click our display button here, we can kind of hide it so it just shows the color instead of what's actually in there. Next one up is the pity, which is 64. This one holds 1,000,000 buckets, so it's a huge step up from there. 65 million, and then finally I think this one is nearly infinite. What was that? 2 billion? 2 billion buckets, which you probably never fill this thing up. But that's pretty much it for these. They're pretty straightforward. You have a GUI for inputs and outputs, and an item filter to make sure that you don't have the wrong fluids going into the wrong tanks. And that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over all of the black hole units. Now, most of these are all the same on the inside, except for the top tier holds significantly more items. Now, if we come and take a look in here, we can see that it has an inventory slot, tells you how much of an item is in here, and also it has item filter slot, so if you don't want items coming in here that aren't supposed to, once it's empty, you can have that option. Here we can display in compact mode, so it'll display the items in stacks instead of individuals. If you have like a wheat farm or something, you can void the extra seeds if you want, so you can collect whatever you want and then all your extras can go away so it doesn't block up or back up your logistics system. Finally, if we throw some eggs in here, you can see we're on item mode right now. If we go over to stack, and we can actually make it not show at all if we don't want it to be visibly there. But that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the Blast Chiller from Thermal series. Now this one is the exact opposite of the Magma Crucible, but it has a few extra little things here. So if you put water inside of it, it's going to give you ice. If you put water in it with a ball cast, it's actually going to give you snow. And if we look in here, we can see how much energy this thing uses. 20 hour per tick really isn't too bad. Its max is 20 and efficiency is at 100%. We can increase our efficiencies and different energy usages by augmenting the machine through this menu here. Control it with redstone here, and configuration, which is your inputs, outputs for liquids and the items themselves. Moving on, we have lava. It'll cool the lava down and give you obsidian. From there, we can also take destabilized redstone and turn it back into redstone. So if you make too much of this and you don't know what to do with it, you can always turn it back to redstone. Over here, Resonant Ender with a ball cast will make your ender pearls. And then last but not least, we have Energized Glowstone, which just finished up and creates your glowstone. And that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going to be showing you how to add blasting to your hammers, tools, whatever kind of harvesting you have. What blasting does is adds speed, kind of like redstone, except for this one affects stone blocks or ores that can be harvested with a pickaxe or a hammer. And the softer the ore, or the softer the stone or terracotta, it increases the mining speed. So in order to add this, we do need gunpowder. It takes 20 gunpowder per upgrade slot, and it also takes, you can do this incremental too, if you just wanted to put like 1 or 2 on there, but it's still going to take up an upgrade slot, so I suggest just doing the full 20 both times if you like. So you can upgrade this twice to a level of 8 blasting speed, and that will take 40 gunpowder. But that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going to be showing you how to get the blazing bone. So what we're going to need to do is come over to our smeltery and literally throw in a bunch of blazes. Blaze rods don't work, and you can't put blaze powder. It literally has to be the blaze mob. So this one is a little bit difficult to do. Next, we also need necrotic bones, which are only dropped from wither skeletons. Then we're going to take our blaze, I guess, what is it called? Blazing blood. And we're going to pour that over the necrotic bone in the seared casting table, and it's going to come down here. And there you go. You have your blazing bone. If you found that helpful, like, comment, subscribe. So if you saw our other video on wheat farming, we did say we are going to make a video on the updated version or the more advanced version using the Corpria network. So basically the hopper and the redstone above the rail, you're just going to break that out. We're going to get rid of our rail altogether, and we don't need these blocks here anymore either. We're just going to cover the hoppers with Corpria funnels like this. Next, we do need a building block to bring it up, but we'll get to that in a second. We're just going to place down a hopper hock nearby. It can be over there or back here. I prefer it back here just because. Chest, just like before, we're going to put the item frames on there. This time it doesn't matter where the seed goes or the wheat, because we're using the Corpria crystals in order to transfer the wheat or the seeds to where they need to go. So next, we do need a Corpria index for this to work and a master crystal above it. So if you don't have this in your world or anywhere nearby within a network, you definitely need to get that going. So to connect this chest full of seeds to the network, we're just going to put a spark above it. We're also going to cover all these Corpria crystals or Corpria funnels with the sparks. From there, we do want to grab a building block, and we're just going to bring the redstone up to right here, and then we're going to bring our hoppers across like so. And then from here, we need to cover the fronts or the backs, whatever you feel like doing. I'm just going to put it up here with item frames, and then put in your wheat, or not wheat, but your wheat seeds, and that's just going to tell it to every time it receives a redstone signal, it's going to pull 1 wheat seed out of the system, put it in this Corpria crystal, and then down into the hoppers themselves. So I personally think that's a 1-to-1 ratio. That is efficient, but I want these to have like a little bit of a backlog. So what I'm going to do is click it twice or once. And what that does is when this is turned a little bit, it's going to recall 2 seeds instead of 1. So every time this fires, it's going to recall 2. So next, we just fire this off. It does the same exact stuff it did before, but this time it's distributing the seeds throughout the entire system, not just a few in the middle until they get full and then reaches out to the outside. So it's a lot more efficient. As you can see, we got 55 seeds. We'll fire it off again. You can see it put 4 seeds in there. So maybe it's not 2, it doubles it. So 4, 8, 16, 32, and the final click is 64. So I got that wrong a little bit earlier, but yeah, that's how easy it is to upgrade this farm to the Corpria network, and makes it a lot more efficient and a lot cooler in my own personal opinion. And I also threw glowstone down here just to make everything grow at nighttime. And that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over how to automate wheat farming using Botania. So we're going to place down a bucket of water inside the dirt here. You're going to turn this into farmland in the center, and then go 4 blocks out both ways. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we're going to want to put down our dispensers like this. We also want one in the center, so you got to shift click it above the water. From here, we're just going to come into the back, place down a bunch of hoppers, make sure they're leading directly into the dispensers themselves. A couple building blocks, and then we're just going to run rail across the top of here. Same thing, couple building blocks. We're going to skip this block and then do an L shape like so. And on the other side, we're going to do a Z type shape. So I guess that's a Z or almost a Tetris block. But anyways, once you do that, you're going to come across the dispensers with these little redstone repeaters. No delay or anything on that. They're good right off the bat. Next step is to get the rail system going. So I like to come somewhere above the water with the dirt block itself. So we're going to put down dirt. Then we're going to put down a hopper. And then redstone. So the redstone powers the rails. This is going to fill the minecart hopper up. We can just let that run back and forth for now. On top of that, we're going to put a chest, and then a hopper hock in the center. From here, we want to put item frames on the front of the chests. It's important to put the seed in front of the, above the hopper one, and then wheat on top of the redstone. That just makes sure that the seeds here are being delivered into the minecart itself and being distributed throughout the dispensers. From here, we want to go over to our mana section of the build here. So we want a pulse mana spreader placed right next to this dispenser. Next to that, we're going to put down an hourglass and then 10 minutes of soul sand, which is 10 soul sand. And we'll get back to that in a second. Next, we want to place down a mana pool behind that. And then we'll come over to the other side, place down a mana detector here, a drum of the wild in front of that, and then a mana pool behind there, and then also a regular mana spreader like that. On each mana spreader, you're going to want to put a lens of the phantom. That's going to allow the mana pulse to pass through the drum of the wild, and it's going to allow this one to send the signal back to this mana pool, which we do have to set that mana pool, or mana spreader to do that. So we're just going to shift, click on it, bring it on over here, click on that, and then that'll kind of turn the mana spreader directly into this, and it's going to pass through this spreader and go into this mana pool. Next, we do want to supply it with a little bit of mana. It doesn't take much to run this farm, and since we're using a recovery method, just not allowing the method or the mana to disappear into the abyss, you don't need much, and it'll run for a really long time on relatively small amounts of mana. So that's probably actually good enough right there. Also, I kind of like to have a manual button on it, just in case I just want to start the system on my own. You can do that. And next, we want to test it out, make sure everything's working. Now, I will say that right off the bat, this thing isn't going to fill every single dispenser, so sometimes I like to just fill them up myself first, and then let this thing do its job as it goes. So just to show that this does work, we're going to manually plant a bunch of wheat here. Got to grab some bone meal. Before we actually do that, I wanted to show you something. So you can enhance this farm quite a bit if we just use some flowers. So the agricarnation, I did a video on this a while back, and what this does is increases crop growth. It's basically free bone meal. After it's built, it'll continuously bone meal the crops around it, and it'll speed up the farm. And also, I'm not a big fan of these railroad sounds. So place down a bunch of burger mutes. It's going to cut off the sound and almost make it silent, but almost you can kind of hear it in the background a little bit. But if we fire this off manually, you can see it's shooting the mana across, hits the drum, harvests all the crops. And we forgot something. It's always good to test your stuff out, see how it goes. So we just need a little bit of redstone here. You don't really need it on the top, but for the replant process, we did get our seeds up here, and the wheat, we had 9 right there, but we do want it to replant, so it's going to detect the mana passing through into the pool. And as you can see, the dispensers that did have seeds in them replanted here, and our agricarnations are already at work trying to basically grow the wheat for you. Now, I did say we were coming back to the hourglass. Depending on how many of these aggregation or agricarnations you do have, depends on how fast the crops grow, so you are going to have to alter this a little bit. So, if it's harvesting before anything's growing or not fast enough, you're going to have to increase or decrease the amount of soul sand you have in here. And 1 soul sand equals 1 minute. And that's pretty much it for this one. But I will say that I am going to do another video that'll probably come up a couple days after this one. And what it's going to be showing is how to replace the hopper minecart system with the Corpria crystal system. So this is basically like a lower tier wheat farm where once we get to Corpria crystals, you can actually advance this farm a little bit to make its seed distribution more efficient and a lot better. But that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over how to automate the sheep farm in Botania. So first we're going to place a drum of the gathering in the middle. I'm going to be using the floating hopper hock so I can put it above it, and you can see its range is quite a bit bigger than our cage, so you can make this farm a little bit bigger than I have it, but this is just what I prefer. You can fit a lot of sheep in here. Next, you're going to want to place a chest above the hopper hock, and that's going to teleport any of the wool that's harvested up into this chest. Next, we want to place down a mana pool on the side, then a pulse mana spreader. It's important to have the pulse mana spreader because that's the one that's going to send literally little pulses of mana into here. Now, it's not going to go through the fence, so you do need a phantom lens on this one for it to work. And once it does flip this little hourglass hopper or hourglass here, you can see it's going to shear almost all of your sheep, and then another time does the rest. Then our hopper hock automatically putting it up in here. And if you want to get fancy, you can also take this and put a Corpria crystal or spark on top of here and be able to teleport it into your system automatically. And if you found this helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over how to get basic circuits. So what you want to do is put piece of osmium in there, and then a single redstone, and that's going to actually it's two redstone on this one, and that's going to produce your basic control circuit. Now, if you want to be a little more efficient, you get yourself an enrichment chamber and place one redstone in it, and then it's going to give you the enriched redstone, which is 8 times as efficient. So 80 millibuckets of redstone versus the redstone dust that only gives you 10. So you'll be able to produce eight of those, not those, but these for basic control units. And that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going to be setting up a very basic refined storage system. So all you need is a controller. I'm using the creative version just because it has its own power source. Yours will look something like this because it doesn't have power, and once you power it up, it'll make these little light up symbols and things. Anyways, moving on, we've got our disk drive. Disk drive is basically your hard drive holder. So once you create or craft one of these 1K storage disks, and there are different tiers, but right now we're using basics, so this is the lowest one, cheapest one to make, and it gives you 1,000 items worth of storage. And you can see the disk drive, you can hold 8 disks in total. Now if we need to access the system, we are also going to need to craft a grid. Placing down the grid right next to these, they all have to be connected, by the way, via cable or right next to the controller. And once you throw down that grid, it gives you access to your items within the grid. Now, personally, I don't really like this one. I always craft up to the crafting grid as soon as possible because that's not only going to give you access to your items, but it's also going to give you the ability to craft items from the inventory directly within your refined storage system. And that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over how to make a basic crystal from deep resonance. So what we're going to need is 2 tanks, a smelter, a crystallizer, and a lot of lava. So first we're going to place down our tank. We're going to fill it with 5 buckets of lava to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason for that is if you get below 4 buckets of lava in the tank, you're going to start losing quality, and if you go above 6, you're going to start burning your resonant ore right here. So you'll basically lose it and you're not going to make any type of crystal material. Next, on top of that, we're going to put down our smelter. We are powering it with a mechanism cable because this mod does not come with cables on its own. If we look in here, we just have a slot for our resonating ore. And you can also throw a hopper on the side if you have a lot of this ore and you just want to feed it in automatically. So you can do that. Also, with this tank, I should mention that you can control some things with comparators. So depending on the amount of lava inside the tank, you can have a redstone signal come off here, and when it gets below 5,000 or 4,500, you can have a cable of some sort turn on and refill it with the correct amount. And that's a lot to do with automation, but we're just doing the basic crystals today. So once we get our proper amount of lava on this tank, we're going to throw our next tank on top, and that's going to start the process of melting down your resonating ore. But always keep in mind to keep this in between 4 and 6,000. So we're at 4,800. We can throw another bucket in there and just maintain that if you're going for some level of quality. After that, we're going to throw a crystallizer on top. And whenever this is done smelting, it's going to put the ore in here, or liquid crystal, and then this machine will slowly create a crystal using that liquid. So if we look at it right here, it says quality 100%. So anytime this gets below the 4,000 mark, it's going to drop the quality. And what that does is you can see it says efficiency 10%, purity 10%, and strength 10%. Once you get to the point where you can actually increase the efficiency and other things, purity of the crystals themselves before you make them in the crystallizer, the 100% is basically the cap. So if your quality is at 80%, you can only purify to 80% or only strengthen the crystal to 80%. And that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here. Today we're going to be going over the Bella Thorn. To make this one, we're going to come over to our petal apocryphy, put in a bucket of water, 3 red petals, 2 cyan petals, and then a redstone root. Put in your seed and it gets you your flowers. Now this one does take mana in order to do what it does, and it kills mobs actually. So if we spawn a slime here, it's going to do damage to it, and it actually only does about 2 hearts per tick, and it does consume mana again to make this one work. And you can also shut it off with redstone, so you can control it. Its range is 6 blocks around it, and I wouldn't suggest trying to kill endermen with it because they do teleport away once it does take some damage. So as you can see, the redstone stopping it from working, so we shut that off and the enderman kind of just teleports away. But for other mobs it works really good. You can get your drops. And that's it for the Bella Thorn. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the bio generator from Mechanism. If we place this one down, you can take a look around the machine. The power comes out of the back of it, so we'll just plug that right in. The front is this little glass part, like so. If we look in here, this has a spot for the biofuel. When you place it in there, it converts the biofuel into bioethanol. Now it does hold just about 2 stacks. I think it's 8 shy of a full, or a full 2 stacks, and you can see how much biofuel you have right here. It produces 140 forge energy per tick, and it can output from its internal buffer at 280 forge per tick. If you get tired of hearing this one run, you can throw in your mufflers, and that's the only upgrades this one does take. And as you can see here, 140 forge energy per tick. And that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the bioreactor, which creates fuel for the biogenerator, and we'll do another video on that later. And also, it does need a water condenser, so if you don't know how to use that, I've got a video on that too. So as we look inside, we have a water tank here. It does need that to produce its biofuel. Here's your input where you put your biomaterial, which down here we can put chorus fruit, netherwort, oak saplings, red mushrooms, or the brown mushrooms, carrots, and potatoes. It will also take different types of dye, but we'll get into that in a second. So You can input the water through here, your items through here, and finally you can extract your biofuel out of this, and you can decide how that goes using these little click here's, or you can extract it using a bucket. This is controlled by redstone if you'd like to do that too, and you can put your efficiency upgrades in here and speed and all that to make it go faster. One thing a lot of machines don't have is this bar here, which is the efficiency bar. Now if we toss our chorus fruit in here, or another word, I guess chorus fruit doesn't work? No, guess not, but that must have been in an earlier version. But anyways, you notice it's only at 11% efficiency. So the better variety of biofuel material you put in here, the higher the efficiency is going to go, and that's going to create more fuel for you at a time because it's kind of mixing more objects together. And as you can see, it's gone all the way up to 55%. Now, if you really want to kind of cheat this a little bit, you can go over here, come into your dye, and each one of these dyes are considered a different biodiverse object. So if you just want to throw in a bunch of colored dye, if you've got a farm like that, you can do that, and it's going to push you all the way up into efficiency. If you don't want to use saplings, things like that. And that's pretty much it for this one. Just to get the biofuel out easy, throw your bucket in here, and it'll take it out every time it reaches 1,000. And if you found this helpful, leave a like. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the biodiesel engine from Immersive Engineering. And to build this one, we're going to place down 2 pipes, a generator block, back from that 3 scaffolding on each side running from the pipes. In the center, we're also going to run pipes. In the very back, it's 3 radiator blocks. That's the first layer to this one. Second layer, we're going to place down a redstone engineering block right here in the center. Fill in the rest with heavy engineering blocks like that. We'll come to the back, raise up your radiator blocks like that there, and then we need more generator blocks, 3 in the front here. Looks like that. That's your second layer. The final layer is filling in this little plus sign with heavy engineering blocks and also raising your radiator blocks up like that. Now, to make this a multi-block structure, we're going to grab out our hammer, hit this center radiator or generator block actually, like that, and that's going to create the engine itself. Now, a few different things. The input, where you're going to input your biodiesel, is right here on the side. Also, you can put it in from the other side. This one isn't actually going to run unless it has an output, so keep that in mind. If you connect your biodiesel up and it's not doing anything, that's why. Also warning, this thing is incredibly loud, so we are going to send our biodiesel that we do have into here. Outputs, it has 3 of them on top. You can directly connect HV capacitors to it if you like, but we're going to test it out and see what this thing can do. So we're going to do cables like this, and then we're going to run that cable over to our transformer like that. Now, how this thing works is, you can see it's kind of quiet right now because I'm wearing earmuffs. If I took these off, you would be deaf, basically. And if we come over here, click this, it looks like over a period of 20 ticks, it's creating 4,800 flux. And to give you a relative idea how insane that is for this, these windmills create maybe 30. And some of the other ones, you could probably get 50 or so out of water wheels if you build them up. So this is an insane amount of power for this mod, definitely late game. And basically you need this. You could use tanks, a few different machines, and all of this just to create the biodiesel, so it does take quite a bit of materials to get to this point. But that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going to be showing you how to unlock the 12 basic child researches to allow you to move further in the future pack mod. So once you've gone into one of these dungeons and gotten an e-scanner, you should have that in your inventory, and you're just going to right click it, hit the tech tree, and come over to the book. Now I do have these already unlocked, that's why they have plus signs next to them, but and this one shows up after you unlock them all. So what we're going to do is basically show you which blocks to use. So you've got geology is stone, metallurgy is a metal block. You can do it right on the walls as soon as you get the e-scanner, so you can knock one out right away, and this one's really easy too. Next is biology. You can use plants like these. Saplings are easy to get a hold of, so I used a sapling. Stock breeding, that's going to be any animal you can find, pigs, cows, whatever. This one, morphing, you can use coal or pistons. Now you can find the piston down there, and the piston actually unlocks several different researches. So you can knock out, I think, 3 birds with 1 stone on this one. So we check out engineering and hydraulics, if those both take pistons too, specifically sticky pistons. Next, we have our logistics. You can use a hopper. It's probably the easiest one to get a hold of. Chemistry, you can use TNT, cauldrons, or creepers for that to unlock that research, and we do have them all unlocked right here already. It will tell you in the chat bar when you do unlock one properly. Next, we have thermodynamics. Same thing. If we scan a torch or a furnace, it's going to give us engineering and thermodynamics at the same time, specifically for the furnace, not the torch. Finally, we got hydraulics. That can be a piston or a sticky piston. Power connection is redstone or the redstone block when you're mining down below. I found redstone dust is pretty easy to do. Finally, the hardest one out of them all, this is the neon crystal or the neon sand, and that's going to unlock neon energy. Now, this one, it's a lot like the dungeons. You're going to just have to wander your world, either stumble across one near the surface or take your luck at mining. And once you've done all that and you've unlocked every single research, we can go back to our mysterious paper here, and it's going to fade this one out. So if you don't have all the researches, this will continue to be here. And then once we go into our e-scanner and check out that, that's going to unlock this right here, which we go over to our basics. That in turn unlocks the ability to make a tech table and then continue on with the mod doing several more advanced researches. But that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the advanced solar panel from Mechanism. So if we take a look in here, this one produces 76.80 forge energy per tick, and it also outputs the same amount. You can muffle it if you don't like that humming noise, so you can just throw those in there, get rid of that. This one does need direct sunlight, just like the original solar panel, or the basic one, which only produces 12. This one produces 76, and that's pretty much it for this one. Just don't block the sunlight, and it should be good on this one. Like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going to be going over how to make an air rune. So we're going to come over to our altar. It's got to be supplied with mana. The better the spreader, the quicker it goes. So first off, we're just going to right click a string in there, a feather, any color carpet, mana, steel ingot, mana powder, and it's going to start doing its thing. As you can see, If you're using a Gaia spreader, it's crazy fast. Finally, to complete this, we just need to toss in a brick, and of course I forgot my wand. Click it, right click it with the wand, and that's going to produce your air runes, and it's that simple. If you found this helpful, leave a like. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the alchemical imbuer. Now, this one is basically a single block little potions lab. Now, when you fill this up with water, what it does is starts brewing just like a brewer stand, except for you don't need blaze powder. Instead, you're using RF power or RF energy. Now, it does have the augmentation upgrades you can do. You can control it with redstone, and you can also decide its inputs and outputs. Right now, we have the byproduct of this, the awkward potion, being exported into our next one. And if you do this right, you can chain these along in order to create potions. So from here, we've got our awkward potion getting hit with the golden carrots, and that's making our night vision. And then we're upgrading that to finally be a night potion for 8 minutes. So you kind of get the idea of this one. You are going to need another machine, which we're going to go over in the next video, that actually will bottle up all of your potions for you, and it does quite a few other things. But that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the kiln from Immersive Engineering, and you're going to need the kiln brick to build this. Just a 2x2 like that. Grab out your hammer and right click the top right corner. So what this does is smelts your alloys in Immersive Engineering. If you do have some other mods downloaded, sometimes you can put those inside here too, but this one basically does silver and gold, which makes electrum, and you can use coal coke or coal for this. And the other option is Constantine ingots. And that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the animal baby separator from industrial foregoing. Now, if we place this one down, it is going to pull animals from the direction that you were facing when you did put it down. If we want to check this thing out, it does need power for it, and every time this meter drops to the bottom, it's going to pull the mob back. But let's check out our working area. Like all other machines in industrial foregoing, it only has a 1 block radius, you can see here, so we're going to put an add-on, a range add-on, into our add-on slots here, and you can do 3 other options if you'd like. But as you can see, it did pull the baby over here, but babies are constantly attracted to their parents, so we're going to have to lock it off if you want to keep them in the separate pen. It does work with chickens, sheep, horses, donkeys, anything passive that you can feed some wheat and make a baby with. Also, there is another option to this. Contrary to its name, we can come over to this seed right here and change it over to moving adults. So if you want to keep the babies over there, you can, and force it to move adults over here. which is pretty cool, the little option. And that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the animal feeder from Industrial Foregoing, and we're going to just come in here and check this one out. So to feed the animals, you're just going to place some food inside the inventory here. It does have a progress bar, so every time that lowers down to the bottom, it's going to try to feed your sheep or cow, whatever you're trying to do. It also requires a range add-on to boost it above this one block right here. So when we toss that in, you're going to see it start feeding the animals once the progress bar reaches the bottom. Now you've noticed it did the cows, and it's actually breeding the animals for you. So it's basically an auto breeder. It does need power, and you can also input the food just using these little buttons. Wherever you place your chest next to it, you can have it pull automatically from that chest. And that's it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the Animal Rancher from Industrial Foregoing. And what you do is take this and place it down like that, and you can see this little black spot. That tells you which direction it's going to be working in. So if we look at this machine, we can turn on our working area, and that's going to show you this one block in front of it, and we can upgrade that in a minute. But first, this one collects fluids, and it can also collect items from passive mobs, so it can actually shear your sheep and milk your cows for you. Now, if you want it to be a bigger area, you get yourself a range add-on and toss that up in the corner here, and this is where you put all of your efficiency and other type things that make this run a little better. As you can see, we did the range add-on, and it's filling up with milk actually pretty quick now. And as you can tell, every time this drops down to the bottom, that's when it completes its action. And you can see it's shearing the sheep now. So next, to export items, you just come to your output, and you can tell orange, it's all color coordinated. So orange highlights, if you want to export that into the chest that's right next to us, we're just going to click that, and it's going to push the items out, send them right in there. We also do need to power this. I'm using a pitiful generator to do it. And that's pretty much it for that one. I mean, fluids is the same thing. You just send the fluids out. Now, I've heard this one can shear squid, but I was not successful in actually getting that to work. So let me know if you guys do get that to work. But very cool if you want to collect a ton of wool. You could have like a ton of different kind of or colored sheep out there and make it super easy. And that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the arboreal extractor. So what you need is to grow a tree, like so. We're going to place this down adjacent to the extractor itself. If we take a look inside, you can see it's got a tank, and it also has this slot. Now, if you want to speed up the process of this machine, you're actually going to throw bone meal in there. You don't have to do that, but I just said botania. Anyways, as you can see, it collected a small amount of resin from the log. It's just going to continue to do that over time. It's a bit slow, but you can also place quite a few of these around a tree. Now, the tree does matter. So if you saw in here, we got resin. Come over here. Oak logs give resin. Spruce is resin. Birch is resin. Jungle is a bit different. It's going to give you your latex. Acacia, resin, and dark oak gives you sap. And that's pretty much it for this one. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going to be building the arc furnace from Immersive Engineering. So what you want to do is place down a heavy engineering block, steel scaffolding like this on each side. From here, you're going to place down a block of steel, fill this in with sheet metal slabs. On this side, we want a steel scaffolding, slab, 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 and then in the center, lined up with your heavy engineering block, is your cauldron. That's going to be your first layer for this one. Next, we want to put down heavy engineering blocks on the side, light engineering blocks in the back, covering that up. Bring your steel blocks up like so, and then you're going to fill this in with your reinforced blast brick. From here, we just want to bring up our steel blocks like that. Come over here, put scaffolding on top of each like that. Then our light engineering blocks right there. I also forgot on the second layer, we do need a redstone engineering block on this scaffolding. That's my bad. And we're just going to bring out our reinforced blast brick all the way out over top of the cauldron. The next layer up from here is pretty straightforward. We're just going to do scaffolding, scaffolding, and then a layer of blast brick. Couldn't think of the name there for a second. Then from here, we're just going to do scaffolding, scaffolding again, light engineering block again, and then bring those out across the top. If everything went right and I got this done properly, we just right click the cauldron and it's going to make your machine, which great, it worked. Next, we're going to grab a few items out to show you what this does and how you can use it. So we're going to get some steel or iron and some coal coke. We do need graphite rods to make this machine run also. So if we look around the machine itself, you have two inputs on each side right here. We come around to the back. This is your export of all the items through here, which you can use conveyor belts or chests. 3 power ports you can use to power the machine, and then we can actually control it with redstone here. So let's grab a power source, power up, and then we'll look on the inside of the machine itself. So it might look a little confusing because there's a lot going on here, but it's really simple once you know how to do it. So we're just going to take our graphite rods, throw them in, and you can kind of see they added them in here. Next, this is our input area. So anything you input into it, the machine, it's going to show up here. Now, we have iron ingots here. We can also grab some ore. Let's just do iron. And when we toss that in there, it's automatically going to start smelting the iron ore and put it down into its export slots here, which will go out through the chests in the back. As you can see, it's going pretty fast for what it's doing, but we can also make steel in here, and to do that we need coke dust. So that's what this slot's for. It's for special items that allow you to smelt alloys and that kind of thing from Immersive Engineering. Now you might be thinking, wow, that's kind of slow. There was a lot to build here. We come over here and click this. It's going to distribute your items throughout the furnace, and this allows you to smelt 12 items at a time. And that's pretty much it for this one. It's way faster. And also, I forgot you could click this and show you the different recipes that it can do. There's quite a few of them, and you can just play around with those on your own. But that's it for this one. Oh, right, the cool automation right here too. And if you found this helpful, like, comment, subscribe. Hey, Minecraft Mentor here, and today we're going over the mod Arcanum. This is a bit of a spotlight, and we actually got the privilege of speaking with Hellbreacher, the creator of the mod, who broke down what all this does, special effects, what happens if you have a full set of armor, and those sort of things, so let's dive right in. So first off, we're going to be going over the weapons that are added by the Arcanum mod. And these up on in here are called beating sticks, and they come with enchantments. So we start off with the Sapphire beating stick. It gives you level 3 Bane of Anthropods, Smite, Looting, and also Knockback. And all of these have the same enchantments, except for this one's level 3, this one's 5, 7, and then finally the last tier is 10. Now these do significant damage, so they're definitely worth trying to get, and just like the swords, also very worth getting if you manage to actually get the resources for these. So we start off with the Sapphire Sword, 12 attack damage, Blood Diamond Sword, 52 attack damage, Void Diamond Sword, and these are incredibly difficult to get, 77 attack damage, and if you manage to get a Void Diamond Sword, you're very lucky. I think there's only one Void Diamond per chunk. And then also it goes up 2 tiers from there, which each one of these requires the previous sword in order to create the next one. So everything in this mod is tiered. If we check out our Infernal Diamond Sword, this is basically God mode, but it's very rare for somebody to get this. You really got to work for it and grind it out. And that's pretty much it for the weapons. We'll move on to the armor next. So just like the swords and the beating sticks, these are all tiered. You have to have the lower tiered piece in order to create the next one up in line. Now if we start with green sapphire, this one is basically like between diamond and iron armor. Blood diamond is better than diamonds, and then void and the rest of these are significantly better than diamond. If you get a full set of void armor, you're not immortal, but pretty close to it. It's very strong armor, high durability. And then the tier after that, the Inferno, starts to give you enchantments. So this one gives you fire resistance and speed for wearing a full set. And then if you actually manage somehow to get an Inferno set, each piece gives you a certain enchantment on its own. And then the full set gives you a whole nother spec of things. So the helmet gives you Aqua Affinity. Chestplate gives you projectile protection from skeletons and gas and that kind of thing. Leggings, Depth Strider, so you can walk through water faster. Boots are feather falling, and if you manage to get the entire set for these, you're going to end up with the ability to fly. You'll never have to eat again. Your health never gets lower. If you get damaged, you're automatically healed. Jump boost of 15, and we can check that out. I'll show you all this. We'll put on the armor. But as you can see, I'm moving crazy fast. It gives you speed, and it's ridiculously expensive to make for you guys out there that are saying, wow, this mod is super OP. It's going to be very difficult for you to get this stuff, but jump boost, insane. Now, over here, we do have just some various blocks. Your Sapphire, your Blood Diamond, your Void, and then your Inferno Diamond up here. This mod does add... Whoa, I'm going a little too fast. A random ore, so when you mine this, it's going to give you a random modded ore from this selection right here. Also, you have the vanilla random, which will give you diamonds, lapis, gold, whatever random ore you can get out of that. It also adds bone ore, so this is going to drop bones for bone meal, flesh block, and then also sulfur. This one drops gunpowder, and that's zombie flesh. finally, we come over to our tools. Now, the tools don't actually add any sort of enchantments. You can put those on yourself, but what they do add is incredible speed and durability. So, this pickaxe right here can tear through things way faster than creative ever could, and it just gets more insane as you go. Now, the Infernal tools do have enchantments on them in the future, but not in this version. So be on the lookout for newer 1.16 versions that will have the enchantments on these. And there are a few more things in the mod for you guys to check out, but that is it. And thanks for Hellbreacher for breaking all this down for us so we could get a real in-depth tutorial, or not tutorial, but spotlight for you guys. And if you found this helpful, like, comment, subscribe.